just the approach and thinking a long weekend, the approach was completely different, and I take a lot of blame for maybe Friday night. I thought we were prepared, and we certainly weren't. And this weekend, whether it was tremendous meetings, tremendous communication, and tremendous time on the floor, that wasn't representative, I think, of what this team can accomplish and what this team can do. And they brought the right mentality, the right resolve and toughness, and so you saw a very balanced, very unselfish performance.
Mike, what was the reaction when you told the players what the lineup would be? Did you have a good vibe from the time that you told them?
I didn't tell them. I just put them out there.
Is that right?
To be honest with you, because I wasn't any chit-chatting type of mood. They had to understand it, and I could have put. To be honest with you, nobody deserved. Maybe Wally and Austin deserved to start, but other than that, it wasn't exactly. The staff and I discussed it at length on who were going to start, and so guys who continually, I think, were the consistent, even since June, consistent with defensively, and that's what we kind of went with.
Well, literally, when did they find out who was starting?
Saturday afternoon when we went through walkthroughs and I had red black.
Okay.
It couldn't
Again,
have been surprised, though, right? You had stated there's going to be some changes.
Sure, and again, I don't think it's Miles, Kadeem, and Jerome's all fault, because Mike Poles 1 for 8. He stunk the other night. Miles wasn't any better, but we went with guys who, and we wanted to send a message to some other people. And messages, again, whether it's clear or not, they just brought the right approach and right mentality tonight.
Now that the, I guess, message was sent or whatever, will you switch anything around or keep what you have?
We'll talk about that. I don't think we're going to stay with one starting lineup this year. I think we're going to send some messages every once in a while. Hey, we don't like what you're doing here. We need to get more effort or do something more purpose, and we may send a message that way.
Mike, how much better a passer is Wally than you thought he was when he initially got here?
Shocked. Wally's a really good passer, and our guys know it. That's why I was shocked that we weren't giving him the ball, because we scream at him to shoot more, actually, in practice. And the fact that he is such a willing participant to give it up. I mean, the backdoor cut in the first play of the game, or the first play of the second half, and even the plays off the post. It's just, it's a nice balance that you could have to be able to get some points in there and run some stuff from the low post.
Like, given the outcome of Friday night, what went into the decision that you could have easily done boot camp for the last 2 days, and I heard you did more film study, kind of back to basic stuff. What was the rationale behind it?
What was the rationale? We had to get better. There's times where I may punish and discipline. We had to get better. We had to, and again, this. I don't think what we did Friday night was reminiscent of what we had done since June 1st. And so, we talked a lot. We talked about approach. We talked about, not being a fraud, not saying team on 3. We say Rutgers or family. Now we say Rutgers. Now we're going to have pride in what we do. And we discussed a lot of different things in probably a 2-hour meeting about what we want and what we expect from one another.
Talk about the way Eli bounced back tonight after a tough first night.
Yeah, and Eli had very good shots. He had 2 kind of plays where he reminiscent of last year, we tried to do too much, but Eli missed a lot of open layups and a lot of open shots the first night. And so I thought he would bounce back. He's a good, strong-willed, tough player, and he doesn't like not starting. I'll give you that. And his body language shows it. But then go ahead and trust people, trust the offense, trust your teammates. And I thought he did that well tonight.
It looked like Miles looked a lot more comfortable out there. What did you see at him?
Yeah, he's got a nice way of leading, and it's not always the most vocal at times, but at times he gets in the huddle and understands how to deal with me at times when maybe his head coach gets overly excited. He's got a nice feel and a nice approach, and so it was very steady, and he's, again, I said, no one has worked harder in the summer. He's done a tremendous job in kind of understanding what went wrong, not what went wrong last year, what he can improve upon. And, that purpose he's playing with tremendous purpose.
Would you consider continuing to bring Eli off the bench, or is this just a one?
We're going to discuss, I'm not real sure. And that's honestly, I'm not trying to hide it from Princeton. I'm not real sure right now. We'll discuss it over the next 48 hours.
What on this stat sheet, what jumps out at you the most as the most impressive?
Kadeem Jack joined the ball club today, gentlemen. We had a Kadeem Jack sighting. And that's exciting because the young man has his inconsistent days, but it seemed like every time the lights went on, he was very inconsistent. So him having fun with the game of basketball, him playing through some mistakes, and just shows Rutgers fans what he truly can bring. I mean, he's tremendously quick off his feet, runs like a deer on the offensive end, not so much on the defensive end, but a lot of it. The assist, Kadeem's shooting 54%, all that type of stuff.
Mike, did the shuffling with players in and out every minute or minute and a half for the first time since you got here remind you of what you did at Robert Morris?
A little bit, yes, because we now have depth, and I trust that depth. Before, I was always getting somebody a minute, and I didn't trust them. And now we have some depth. I have some issues because I think Vincent Garrett's getting more comfortable. Derek's getting more comfortable as we get into bigger, stronger teams. He doesn't have to chase the 6'5" center around. So, but our depth is going to be, I thought it was going to be a strength, and we'll see. It was tonight, that's for sure.
Is Vincent still behind the curve a little bit?
Getting comfortable with everything, yes. Thinking too much. And I would claim this team never think too much, but right now he's just a little bit behind. I mean, because he has talent and he has athleticism. You know what the biggest, JC, now I think about Shane Gibson, 3 for 15, 1 for 6. That may be the biggest surprise as I peruse the stat sheet, because he's tough. He's a really good player and a consistent scorer. So I think defensively our guys did a tremendous job on that.
Who gets the most credit for that?
We started with Dane, but we switch every perimeter screen, so I think it's a great team defense of night.
Wally, okay? Looked like, did he take an elbow or a forearm, something like that?
Wally can never be a boxer, that's for sure. Wally's going to get bumped around because he's going to be a focal point of defensive side. He got elbowed right in the lip and split it open a little bit.
Okay. He was bleeding.
Who knows? We'll go ask Wally.
Other than his couple dunks, felt like Dane had a really quietly productive game. Is that the kind of performance you want out of him?
Yeah, you know why? Because he was might be quiet on the offensive end. He wasn't on the defensive end. He was as consistent with his energy as maybe a game last year, but I don't remember. He was consistent. He just every time that he was on the floor, he was giving energy. And if he does that, we're going to be a good defensive team. And sometimes he cruises past defensive possessions, and he shouldn't, because of when you're that talented, physically talented, you have to give everything you have, and bringing that out in him is something we want to do consistently.
Is there an edge with this team going into Princeton that you guys have lost 2 straight?
Oh, I hope so. I know there's an edge with the coaching staff, and Princeton did a tremendous program. Again, it's not like we're losing the Sisters of the Poor here. Tremendous program, the discipline, but yeah, they're our neighbors to the south, and we have to start to become successful.
Is there? I guess everyone in that locker room remembers what happened last year.
Oh, if they don't, I'll certainly remind them tomorrow or the next day.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.